UFC Vegas 21 this weekend. Or in a couple days, I should say. Leon Edwards is back after 600 days. Belal Muhammad is stepping in on short notice to fight the guy. We're going to run down through the picks and give you, this is a money I think you could make, this is a card I think you could make some money on.
Yeah. This is money we think you could make money on that money.
This is it's money. This whole thing is money.
Money.
Starting from the bottom, I love it. We'll start off with Jason Witt. We're from Kansas City. Jason Witt, this will be his third fight in the UFC. He's 1-1. He's fighting Matthewschmelzberger.
Schmelzberger.
Great name. You got this line is so close. Jason Witt, the Kansas City guy. We're a Kansas City podcast. What are you thinking? And it's the right pick. Jason Witt, underdog. Put your money on him. He's stronger. He's got more experience than Matthewschmelzberger. If he gets it to the ground, it's over, and he can hold his own in the stand-up. So
put your money where your mouth is.
Jason Witt.
The
vanilla Vanilla Gorilla. That's what I call him. That's what he calls himself.
Gorilla.
Gloria de Paula and Jinyu Fry. I've had very bad experiences betting when I bet Jinyu Fry, and she's the underdog again, so it probably means she's going to win this time around, but, I have PTSD. Jinyu Fry, not me.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, what George Bush say? Can't get fooled again.
I won't be fooled again.
There you go. So who do you got?
Not Jinyu Fry.
Jinyu Fry, doesn't matter.
Paula. Whoever's her opposition.
Just because I want to be the antagonist to you, I'm going to go ahead and put all my money all in on Fry.
It's probably going to happen now. I'm pretty upset. But no, it's not going to happen.
I had a great record last week.
100% confident. Courtney Casey versus Aldridge. Courtney Casey is, this is neither here nor there, but she is in a relationship with Drakkar Klose, one of my favorite fighters to watch. She's the underdog. Aldridge is smaller. It seems like the reach advantage is just too much. I think Courtney Casey is a really good dog to throw your money on in this fight. So I'm gonna advise you to put it on Courtney Casey as the underdog.
I'm putting it all on Courtney Casey for sure.
Wow.
Lock it in. Next.
Oh my favorite.
Oh God, I can hear Josh just went 6 to midnight over there in his pants.
Oh,
this is the fight that's had his spidey senses tingling since he told me about the card.
Nasrat Haqparast. I love this guy.
Flawless execution on that pronunciation, by the way.
Thank you.
Flawless.
Well, I have to know. He's my guy. He's got the nipples for the lightweight division. This is also neither here nor there. They're pretty big,
He's got some solid pepperoni.
He's got some peps, and I didn't order. But
he's got a little pep in his step, some would say.
He was supposed to fight Don Madge. Don Madge pulled out because, obviously, why wouldn't you? You're fighting Nasrat Haqparast.
I wouldn't want to fight anybody with that name at all.
So Rafa Garcia steps up. Well, this guy's 12-0. So we'll see how that goes for him. But Nasrat Haqparast, I'm going to bet a first-round knockout on this one. And that's where I'm actually going to put my money.
Okay, so Josh is putting his money on Nasrat Haqparast. Ooh, there you go. I think this is going to be a lot closer fight than obviously Nasrat is the favorite, but I think this is going to be a lot closer. I'm still going to take Haqparast at the end, but I'm going to take it based on decision. I think this will go all 3 rounds. I think it will be a decision. Don't know if it's going to be unanimous or not. It could be, but I don't see a knockout.
Haqparast is the biggest favorite on the card.
Yes.
It's not by much, but yeah, I think it's an easy lock for me. We'll see how it goes. He's got George St. Pierre. He's got Firas Zahabi in his corner. He is the golden child. I love that guy. Ronnie Yaya versus Ray Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Ray Rodriguez is one of those Iridium sports agency guys that is just, they're always so tough. But Ronnie Yaya, the line really scares me, minus 305 to plus 240. So I'm kind of staying away from that. I think Ray Rodriguez has a really good chance in this fight. I'm not betting on this fight. I'll probably pick Ronnie Yaya, though. Actually, I'm gonna pick Ray Rodriguez. But
see, I was gonna go Ray Rodriguez too. His name is the Judge, and if we're gonna leave it up to the judge is always gonna come in clutch.
I'm gonna go Ray, but I'd stay away from that one. Stay away from that one. Even though it's
not a money betting one. If you're really trying to push the limit, still don't bet on it.
Charles Air Jourdain versus Marcelo Rojo. Look, I think
Charles Air Canada.
Oh, Air Jourdain. Oh man, this guy's been in the UFC, out of the UFC, back in the UFC. I think he's got so much potential that he could have a viral knockout pretty soon. And I think he's almost due for one because he beat Or I think he lost to Andre Touchy-Feely. And that was probably the best. That was probably the best fight, highest profile fight of his career. So against Marcelo Rojo, he's a pretty big favorite, -265. I would bet a finish on Jourdain. Bet a finish on Jourdain because I think he's gonna have a spectacular one in his next upcoming fights if he stays in the UFC.
Well, Jourdain obviously has a win over female soccer women's champion Alex Morgan. In his past, obviously.
Good on you,
no
Air.
Contest. Air Jourdain over here. So I am also going to put my money on Air Jourdain. I think he's going to put one on for Canada.
Air Jourdain.
Air Jourdain.
Fantastic nickname. Angela Hill versus Ashley Yoder. This was scheduled a couple weeks ago. It didn't happen. And the line moved even further for Angela Hill. She was already the favorite a couple weeks ago. Now she's even more the favorite. She's like the second biggest favorite on this card.
Yeah.
And,
I would also stay away from this. Well,
that's pretty sketchy.
If you're going to bet on it, you better not put your money on anybody but Angela Hill.
I mean, -365 for a 12-9 fighter. The only thing that gives you confidence is that she already beat Ashley Yoder. Staying away from it. But I like Angela Hill because of her personality. I think she could become a big star in the sport, but you got to start winning some fights.
You do have to start winning some fights. Obviously, technically, you have landed the most strikes ever in women's history. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, need some power behind those.
Yeah, volume only counts if you're winning fights. So,
yes, sir.
I'm going to go ahead and also take Angela Hill. I think she's going to be able to outstrike Yoder all the way. I just don't see Ashley being. Sometimes Ashley gets in there and it usually, when Angela Hill gets in the cage, she at least has a game plan, and she's pretty refined.
And she
when it comes to
overkill Hill. I overkill you with volume, but I don't finish you. Eric, former Alabama football player, Anders.
I had Angela Hill, by the way.
Yeah, me too. But
we
staying away from it.
We got to pause real quick.
Pause. Moving on to the main card, Eric, yeah boy, or former Alabama Crimson Tide football player. He goes back with guys like Mark Ingram and Nick Saban, probably, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what his relationship is like. I'd like to know after he fights Darren the Dentist. Darren the Dentist fought one of the hottest guys in the UFC. People forget about this fight, and it was Kevin Holland. And he beat the crap out of Kevin Holland in the third round to the point where Kevin Holland got the split decision win, and he said, immediately, he was like, yeah, we have to run that back. Because, Kevin Holland's a savage. But then time passed, and he's like, this doesn't make sense. Darren the Dentist is a very durable guy. -190 favorite. We've heard Eric Anders, if there was like a 190-pound division, I think that's what it is. That's where he would most likely want to be. Is it 190? It might be 175. I'm not sure.
Are you talking about is he fighting heavier than he is, or is he fighting up because
he's fighting a little bit heavier, I think.
Okay,
but
so
not really
so
a
Ben
weight class
Askren
for
actually,
him.
believe it or not, somehow we always end up talking about Ben Askren on this show. But Ben Askren was one of the guys who was trying to do a 175, 180 division. 175 division is really what he wanted.
And yeah, one of the prospects in Kansas City who just came off a big win, Mikey England, said if there was a 165-pound division, that's where he would, most likely want to fight.
Gotten more phone calls during this podcast than I've ever gotten in my life. I don't have friends. You're my only friend here, Josh. I actually don't exist to the world outside of this box right here that you're seeing me in.
We're just we're big Ochai Agbaji fans, and
big Ochai
that's what you need to know.
For those who don't know, he's a KU player, and for those who don't care, it's literally not important at all. It's just a funny name to say. Anyway, back to you, Josh.
It's a great name to say. Eric Yowboy. He's a dog, but this is a valuable dog right here. This is a valuable pick. I think Eric Anders.
So you think Anders squeaks out the win, or do you think he knocks him out?
I think he's still getting his footing in the UFC. And sometimes you watch Eric Anders fight, and you get so frustrated. You're like, dude, throw a power shot, throw some volume, do something. And he doesn't do it. But I think there's going to be a strength advantage in this fight, even though Darren Stewart, both of these guys are huge. But I think he should clinch him, throw some knees, throw some elbows. Don't gas yourself out. And I think Eric Anders is the pick here. Darren the Dentist, I think, has to knock him out to win. I think
Anders has definitely faced the better opponents, Lyoto Machida, Thiago Santos. I think I'm going to give the edge to a guy like Darren Stewart.
The Dentist?
I'm giving him the Dentist. I think your dentist. What's your dentist's name? Crentis, obviously. He's going to come in. I think he's going to perform pretty well, and I think he's going to give it all he's got. I think he's going to try really hard. I think he's got a lot of aggression. I think he's gonna throw more punches than the other guy. Any other generic ass thing I could say about a fighter? Like, I think he's going to score more points, and then in the end, if more points would win you the fight, nah. I think Darren Stewart's coming out. I think he's going to take the win over Eric Anders. He's going to roll that tide up into a ball and freaking take that cavity out. Work on that cavity that he's got.
Yeah, Anders is he's been on a bit of a skid, you could say.
Skid
which
mark,
is
underpants
probably
of society.
Probably why he's an underdog in this fight. But Darren the Dentist has had close fights, close losses to Kevin Holland and Julian Marquez, both guys that are, you could say, on the come up. Then we'll go to the flyweight division. Manel Cape, he's coming back. He fought on, I think, what was it? What was the night we watched at your house? What fight? That was
It was
that Usman and Burns?
I believe it was.
Was it? Well, Manel Kopp fought on that card, and he lost to Alexander Pantoja.
Of course.
And, I mean, the flyweight division is not great, but he's back already. He trains out of Thailand with Mike Quick Swick. He's fighting Matheus Nicolao. And Nicolao looks like no slouch, but I think the UFC, I don't know, the flyweight division is kind of top-heavy, what you could say. So, I mean, I would like to see Manel Cape break through. This is his second fight in the UFC. He's had a lot of success elsewhere in other organizations. So, hopefully he gets that first UFC win. This fight is very close. Very, very close. I didn't really like what I saw out of the Pantoja fight with Manel Cape, but I think, he deserves to be fighting the best. Nicolao is 13-3. Cape's 15-5, Starboy. And he's going to be a motherfucking...
Nicolao is 15-2-1.
He's going to be a motherfucking Starboy.
I was just... you took it from me.
On this night. I got 13-3-1 on UFC.com.
Well, on Tapology, which we know is the better one. Okay. I got 15-2-1.
UFC.com, update your shit. Okay.
UFC, we know that you're
Tapology.
You don't even have rankings for women's bantamweight.
Why don't you hire Tapology to work on your website? That seems to make sense, right? Why don't you pay them a little bit of coin, and then they can do your stuff? Because I have more faith in Tapology than I do your stuff.
I definitely
and
have
that's
more
a bad
faith
thing.
in Tapology. Yeah.
So, but yeah, give me a Manel Cape. This is a pick'em, but I think you could make some coin on this fight by picking Manel Cape.
I think this is definitely going to be a close fight. I want to lean toward Nicolao, just on the fact that Brazilians. So, but me, Manel Cape, obviously. No, I actually don't have much to say. I'm going to go Nicolao. I think we're going to be split on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know a lot about Nicolao.
I like the young gun. I like some of the highlights that I've seen from him as far as his game goes. I think he's scrappy. He brings something fresh to the table. So
yeah, I mean, whoever wins raises their stock. That's bottom line. Raises their stock in that division.
Generic things we can say about fighters. The one who wins is probably going to get a better opponent next time. And, I can totally see them creating some buzz at some point.
The number 6, you beat the number 6 guy, you're going to fight next?
The number 4 guy.
The number 5 guy. Jonathan Martinez versus Davey Grant. Jonathan Martinez, I think, he's coming off a pretty big win against Thomas Almeida.
And now beat Almeida.
Thomas Almeida beat or is fighting Sean O'Malley next. So, Jonathan Martinez looked great in that fight.
Won by unanimous decision.
David Grant, he's kind of... I remember him on The Ultimate Fighter with Anthony Gutierrez and, that whole thing, if you've watched So, I just think Jonathan Martinez is a prospect in this sport because we're Kansas City guys, so we know that story. And Jonathan Martinez is a prospect on the rise, a name to look out for. He's a big favorite, so I don't think there's any value in picking it, but I do think Jonathan Martinez is going to win this fight.
I am step by step in step with you. I've also got Jonathan Martinez. Just overall, to me, he's got the better pedigree of fighters. He's coming off a big win versus Thomas Almeida, like you said. I don't think this one's going to be necessarily close. I'll go ahead and give it decision, though. I think it's going to go all 3 rounds, but Martinez comes out with the win.
Dan, 50K Ige versus Gavin Tucker. This is a fantastic fight. This is kind of like the Sean Brady versus Jake Matthews fight.
Sean Tom Brady?
Sean Tom Brady. Thank you. It's going to stick. Sean Tom Brady in Jake Matthews. This is similar. I think this could be potentially fight of the night. Just a great striking affair. Dan, 50K. He's got as far as he's ever been in his last fight. Who was that against? Blake? 50K. Ige.
Calvin Kattar.
Yeah, that's right. See? He got like a really high-profile fight, lost, and
he was on a tear.
Yeah, he was dominating.
He just took down Mirsad Bektic and Edson Barbosa before that.
That's crazy. Oh yeah, and that was controversial.
And
with
both
Edson.
of them were split. I was going to say the last 4 fights have been unanimous, split, unanimous. So
I mean, 50K
he's going
Ige.
the rounds. He's going the rounds.
50K Ige has been fighting high-profile guys. The problem is that Gavin Tucker is on a trajectory of young guy greatness, and to me, he reminds me a little bit of Sean Brady. I think he's, maybe next. And he might have been given Dan Ige a little bit too early. Maybe this is too much for Gavin Tucker. But if he wins and he dominates, then, which I don't know if he will dominate, but I do think Gavin Tucker is going to win this fight.
Gavin Govna Tucker, obviously ground specialist,
Not Sean
submission
Tom Brady.
specialist, loves to go with the rear naked choke. That's how he's got majority of his wins. Or as far as his finishes goes, that's how he's got the majority of his finishes. I still like Dan Ige. I think just the level of competition he has faced is going to put him a head and shoulders above Gavin Tucker. But the one thing I think, and they're both obviously jiu-jitsu practitioners.
Dan who?
Ige.
50K?
50K.
Okay, thank you.
50 stacks. Racks, baby.
You got him winning?
I've still got Ige winning, but I think if Tucker wins, it's going to be by a submission of some sort.
Does he get to 50K?
This could be up there for fight bonus of the night.
Could be
depending
50K.
on how it turns out. But I think because of the deadliness of Gavin Tucker on the ground and just Ige's ability, I think that this could be one of those that could be a fight of the night. Definitely gonna be a banger. Lock it in, Dan 50K Ige.
I like Gavin Tucker. I'm gonna go with the not the young upstart, but I'm all about it. I'm all about this prospect.
Or the upset.
The upstart.
Gotcha.
Prospect.
Gotcha.
I said what I said. I am what I am.
You said what you said. You meant what you said.
Misha Cirkunov. Let's move on to the co-main event. Misha Cirkunov versus Ryan Denard Spann.
Why was Denard Spann the guy that you chose to like?
What, my Spann?
Denard Spann was
decent.
Yeah, I was like, he wasn't. For those who don't know who Denard Spann was, played for the Twins. He was an outfielder.
Center fielder. Twins. Center fielder. Denard Spann.
Okay.
Ryan Denard Spann. I don't know. I see the name Spann, and that's where my mind goes.
Superman Spann.
But I have seen Ryan Denard Spann fight before, and he's pretty, not a slouch. Misha Cirkunov, I've seen him get KO'd by Johnny Walker, which was probably the most famous knockout that Johnny Walker has had in his career. Made you think that Johnny Walker was going to, maybe beat a guy like John Jones after that fight. You were like, dang, he just put away Misha Cirkunov.
All he does know how to do is do the worm and dislocate
his shoulder. Do the worm and dislocate his shoulder and, look pretty underwhelming in your next couple fights. But Ryan Spann is no slouch. What were his last couple fights?
Last couple fights he had a loss to Johnny Walker, obviously. He beat Smiling Sam Alvey in a split win decision.
Tough win, always.
Before that, he was supposed to fight Paul Craig, and it got canceled. Before that, he was supposed to fight Owen St. Preux, and it got canceled. But before that, he also beat Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira, one of the Nogueira brothers, Little Nog.
Yeah. Misha seems just like kind of not on his way out. He just seems a little older. These guys are probably around the same age, I would think.
He is absolutely jacked, though.
Misha Cirkunov.
Yeah.
I mean, you could
he
bog
had a loss
your
to
mind.
Johnny Walker. He beat Patrick Cummings. He lost to Shasheri. He lost to Ozdemir. He beat Nikita Krylov, and Kutalaba. So, but those were, obviously earlier. Those were back in 18.
Yeah, it's just you're. I feel like I like the saying you're only as good as your last fight.
Yeah,
which is a good.
I'm going Ryan Spann for sure. I think he's got the most recent wins, the most recent, kind of not star power, but just the most recent anything.
Ryan Spann is good. Ryan Spann is he's a quality fighter. So, and he's the underdog. So, maybe some value in that co-main event right there. Now, we've been zooming and grooving and moving.
Zigging and zagging.
Now we have a pretty big main event here. Leon Edwards. Leon Rocky Edwards.
Edwards versus Belal.
Bully B. Belal Muhammad. Bully B. Belal Muhammad.
Blow me, Muhammad.
Was that a door shut right there? Or?
That was a door shut. You know why? Because the door is about to shut on Leon Edwards' career.
That's right. On who?
On you heard me. Leon Edwards' career is about to be.
Damn it, Blake! I respect you so much right now because, 600 days.
600 days.
Forgive us. Forgive me. I'm a Kansas City guy, so I look at Julian Marquez.
Wait, are you a Kansas City guy?
I'm a Kansas City guy. I live here, and I do this podcast here with Blake sometimes. And I go back to the Julian Marquez fight because Julian Marquez was on a 2.5-year layoff from fighting, and Leon Edwards is on a 2-year layoff. It's not 2.5 years; it's 2 years. So, and you go back to that fight, it was Marquez versus Patolo. And he lost the 2 first rounds. He had to get a finish in the 3rd round. I think ring rust is a real thing when you're 600 days out.
Yes.
It may not be a real thing if you're a year out, 2 years. But when you get to that 2-year point of not being in the cage, I think there's a little bit of ring rust. And I think Belal Muhammad, it helps him. This could be a detriment to Belal Muhammad. It could help him that he was just in the cage, but it also could hurt him. And I like to think of it as it's going to be a good thing for him. He was just in the cage, so that will help him. But on the other hand, I'm thinking he was just in the cage. He's got a little wear and tear on him. It could be a bad thing because Leon Edwards, go on Instagram. Go check out Leon Edwards' Instagram. He is absolutely shredded to the core, to the T's. He looks fantastic.
Yeah, muscles don't win fights, Josh.
I know,
if that was the
look
case,
at his legs.
Vitor Belfort and Alistair Overeem would have never lost ever.
I know, and I like Belal Muhammad.
DRT Belfort.
He's saying great things. I've always liked Belal Muhammad. But you see where I'm coming from. It could be a good thing or a bad thing that he was just in the cage versus a guy who has not been in the cage.
We have that issue of we have a guy that's fresh out of the cage and a guy who hasn't seen a cage in 2 years. So, because you can make arguments for both sides. You can say, "Hey, dude, he's well rested. He's been studying his opponent like a cheetah stalks its prey,
like a guy,
trying to win a fight,
win a fight, get a fry."
So when I break this down, I think one of the things right now is Belal Muhammad has the most, to me, actual.
Remember the name, don't you forget it.
Hype, because we've seen what he's done recently. What have you done for me recently? That's always the go-to. What have you done for me lately?
Remember the name.
Belal Muhammad, we know. He comes out and beats Diego Lima. Am I correct? Yep.
Yeah, that was the last fight.
Beats Diego Lima.
And Diego Lima's on its way out. Let's not overstate that.
He's won 4 of his last fights. Had a unanimous decision loss against Neal back in 2019. Who cares? This is 2021 we're talking about. So I think what I'm seeing right now is Leon Edwards is the product of hype and not substance. Everybody, and we had some commenters on the show that said, "Oh, you guys aren't giving Leon Edwards enough credit. He beat Rafael dos Anjos." Yeah, he beat Rafael dos Anjos in 2019.
I'm not giving Leon Edwards any credit.
And dos Anjos, let's be honest, is also
it's one of those
on his way out.
I hate to be Chael Sonnen, but it's one of those things. Prove me wrong, Leon Edwards, because I'm a doubter.
Yes, I will doubt you.
I am doubting Leon Edwards.
I know what Belal has done lately. What have you done for me lately, Leon? You got pieced up by Jorge Masvidal. That was the last fight you were in. That's the last thing I've seen you do. So last time I saw you, you got your ass kicked.
They have the same record, 18-3. They're both fantastic.
Yeah, you beat Dos Anjos. You beat Gunnar Nelson. You beat Cerrone. Cool. Again, those were all 2 and 3 years ago.
And you know Bully B is durable. You know he's not going to really get finished. And you know Leon Edwards may not get finished. But, I mean, Belal has a really good stand-up game where he can catch you with his, left hand coming in. So I was watching his fight, and he would, go to the body, like fake to the body, come over with the left. Fake to the body, come over with the left. And he landed almost every time. He was so good at hiding it and setting it up. And then I watched Leon Edwards' last fight, and it was, this guy can take you down. He can time his shots exquisitely.
True.
Very good. So if he gets a hold of Belal Muhammad, I feel like that's maybe where the difference will be, where the odds are, because he's a pretty big favorite. Leon is. I don't know. It took a while. The reason I'm picking Belal Muhammad is because the Julian Marquez thing. It took Julian Marquez 2 rounds, really 2.5 rounds to get going.
Yeah.
And then he got the finish. This is a 5-round fight, but I feel like Belal could sting him because he's not been in the cage for a long time. And hit him with leg kicks, hit him with his, if he sets up that leg kick mixed in with that jab to the body, overhand left that he does so well, I think he could sting Leon Edwards. He's done it to guys before. So, yeah.
So this was my question to you. If you're Belal Muhammad, because of ring rest, do you assume that your conditioning is on point? Or do I say, hey, you haven't been in the ring so long, I think if I attack you head on first, like full frontal, great white, just assault you, I think you're going to freak out, and your conditioning, because you haven't been in the ring for so long, is going to get blown out in the first couple rounds if I bring heavy pressure. So which one do you think? Do you think it'd be smart for Belal to start off fast and heavy, or do you think this is more of a technical fight than we think it might be?
That's a good question. I think Belal should start off fast and heavy.
I think he should start off fast and heavy too.
With the leg kicks.
Test his conditioning.
If anything, heavy on the leg kicks. And, just because we've seen it, it's like heavy on the leg kicks, but if you're going to go heavy on the leg kicks, let's just go heavy. I mean, Belal Muhammad said he's not happy. He's not just happy to be here. He's coming to win. So go in there and prove it, big buddy. Go out there and take it to Leon Edwards from the second that bell rings.
I did
take
not
it
come
to this man.
I did not come to take part. I came to take over.
And his
woo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just think right now, because we've talked about, I mean, I remember back when the Masvidal-Askren fight was going down and people were talking about Leon Edwards, and he hadn't even fought, before that for like a couple months. So I'm like, that was over. That was literally 2 years ago we're talking about this. Now, I welcome Leon Edwards to prove me wrong.
Oh, yeah,
I'm going to go Belal Muhammad because, again, what have you done for me lately? But if Leon Edwards comes in there and absolutely puts on a clinic, I won't be surprised. I'm going to go, damn right, that's what you should have done. You had 2 years of rest.
And you're the number 3.
And, yeah.
People are crowning you fucking champion already.
So I won't be surprised, but I just don't. There's so much uncertainty right now that I just don't know. And because of so much time off, I just can't expect you to jump back in. Like when Rob Gronkowski took time off from the NFL and then comes back. Granted, they're 2 separate sports, but it's about the time off.
Old.
When you've taken that much time off, what liberties have you taken in your training, in your diet, and yeah, I get it. You've been training now for the past however.
Oh,
it
looks fantastic.
You look fantastic. But what liberties have you taken? What part of your game did you get comfortable with and overly comfortable with? What part of your conditioning did you get too comfortable with because you haven't really been pushed to test if that's even possible? Yeah, you can get tested. Training is one thing. In the ring is different. You know what I mean? So I'm curious to see if we see any parts of his game where we think he took some liberties and maybe over-evaluating or over-hyping his own skill.
I mean, and he was training for hazmat. We can't forget that. He was training for hazmat, probably, which was going to be heavy ground game. And Belal is not going to be heavy ground game. It's just that's not what's going to happen. So, Leon Edwards wants to prove that you can be a UFC champion and you don't have to come to the States to be a UFC champion. Look at all the UFC champions. They all train in the States. A good majority of them. Leon Edwards wants to prove that wrong. So prove me wrong, big boy. Let's go. I'm taking Belal Muhammad, though. Prove me wrong. Leon Edwards, prove me wrong.
I've got Belal Muhammad. You got Belal Muhammad. But Leon Edwards, we welcome you. We set the stage up for you guys. Come and take it. Prove us wrong. Make us eat our words. Because if you are truly as good as everybody's been hyping you for the last 2 years, then come and prove it.
Great main event.
If not, Belal Muhammad, do your thing, bad boy.
Let's go.
UFC Fight Night, Vegas 21. I wish I was 21 in Vegas when I turned 21. It was fantastic. We'll see you guys on Fight Night. Peace.